Does that mean that you consider it an actual, genuine emergency?
Well, I would say that that's probably a question for the Department of Homeland Security, who obviously oversees that. An influx of kids at a rate and a pace that is going to require us to, make considerations about where we're going to safely house them.
I think Jen needs to spend some time with the Border Patrol, like we did, and live their lives for just a few hours. I don't think they have a firm grasp on anything, including reality. Now, internal documents obtained by Axios showing that during the last week of February, Border Patrol referred an average of 321 migrant kids each day to HHS shelters, which is soon, they're all soon going to be at maximum capacity. They're about 94%. It's actually worse, though, than this. The Washington Post immigration reporter is tweeting that the number of families and minors arriving is expected to be the highest in over 20 years, and the government will use hotels if it runs out of space. When's the last time you went to a hotel? Now, if it wasn't that bad, get ready for this. My next guest says that the Biden administration is vastly undercounting the real extent of this crisis. Here now is former senior advisor to President Trump, Stephen Miller. Stephen, you and I have been talking about illegal immigration, what it's doing to the country for years and years and years. But you have a lot of sources in Border Patrol as well. They're briefing you about the real situation on the ground today. What are you hearing?
Well, the administration has publicly admitted, which is rather shocking, that 100% of minors traveling alone, many of them teenagers, are being resettled and released all throughout the United States, all 50 states. But what they're not telling you is that most family units are now also being released too. And that's why we're seeing now 4,000 apprehensions a day. Because word has spread, not just in Central America, but throughout the world, that if you come as a family or as a minor, you're going to be released. That's not being publicly disclosed. So while they're saying publicly, oh no, we're still turning away family units, in reality, the majority of family units are now being released into the interior of the country. And a lot of them are going to go into communities that don't have the hospital capacity or the healthcare resources to deal with them. And that's going to mean during a pandemic, low-income Americans are going to be denied the healthcare resources that they need. So this really exacerbates a public health crisis in addition to a national security crisis.
Well, the DHS Secretary Mayorkas is a radical. He's blaming the Trump administration, big shock, for the situation unfolding at the border.
We do not have the capacity now to address the asylum seekers' claims because that system was dismantled in its entirety by the prior administration. We have to address those implications not only for the benefit of the communities in the United States, but for the migrants themselves.
Stephen, this wouldn't be happening, right? Would it, if they hadn't rolled back the Trump border policies and rolled out the red carpet for illegals?
The comment from Secretary Mayorkas is an offense to human intelligence and reason. When we left office, the border was fully secure. If you came illegally, you were detained and you were safely returned home. That is the definition of border security, that if someone crosses illegally, border agents can apprehend them, and then they can be safely returned to the country they came from. We had that system in place because we had deals with Mexico, we had deals with Central America, we reformed our asylum regulations, we reformed our intake procedures, we expedited return flights home, we had charter flights leaving every single day to have a safe, secure, humane border. He and his fellow political appointees at DHS dismantled all of that. They dismantled the most effective asylum system that had ever been created in this country, and they launched this border crisis. And he needs to own up to that fact and not lie to the American people and not disrespect the ICE officers and border agents who painstakingly achieved that security plan. And I'll say one other thing. While they're pretending to be compassionate, not only are their plans deeply injuring American families and American communities, but they're destroying the Northern Triangle. Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador cannot possibly succeed if this mass exodus of young people is allowed to continue. Those countries won't have a future. They're sentencing those countries to generations of poverty and misery.